So this is a landlord how-to video, save you some money so you don't have to pay for an air conditioner guy. Usually, it should be like once a year really, but this one hasn't been for a while. But see all these leaves in the bottom of this condenser? So one of the things you want to check for, see there's some like dented fins right there, probably the whatever got inside here and the fan flung it around, dented these fins up. So if you can, try to straighten those, but clean up all that debris inside the condenser. Before you start this project, right here by every air conditioner, there's one of these deals right here. Open it up, pull this thing out. That's like a breaker, kills the power to the air conditioner unit. And while you got it open, check your bearings, make sure your fan spins pretty good. Now the dangerous part on these things is right there. It's kind of weird how they mounted those in there. I don't know why the guy did that. This thing's pretty half-assed, but those two capacitors in those boxes, you don't want to touch them because those will have like stored energy in them. So keep your hands and your body parts away from them. And there's a lot of screws on them. So you have to undo the screws, open it up, and then just take a vacuum, shop vac, clean up all that debris around it. And if you can, kind of clean up around the condenser unit. So yesterday I was trimming up the trees around it, all the bushes, shrubs. I'll take my blower and blow out all these leaves so more don't get trapped in it and blow into it. But that kind of helps extend the life of your condenser. And then what I'm going to do is wash these condenser fins from the inside out. So don't do it the other way. Don't wash it from this side in. Now go from the inside. Once you clean all that out, then blow it, with your garden hose or whatever you got to spray with water. Don't use a high pressure washer, because then you'll dent up those fins in there, and because those need to breathe in order to cool the system down. All right, pretty simple, but do that once a year, or at least once every couple years. It'll make your system, either for your rental or for your own house, last longer, and you'll save a lot of money on having somebody come out and mess with it. Because if it overheats, it causes a problem in the middle of the summertime. Might be a shortage in a long time before somebody can get to it. Another thing to check too, to make your system more efficient, you have a high pressure line and a low pressure line right there. A lot of times they get damaged when we're off, like that one right there. So I have some more of that stuff. I'll have to come back, put that on, because this line right here, this is your high pressure line. That one's hot. This one is the cold pressure, it'll be a cooler. So if you can insulate that one better, and especially insulate and separate it from that other high pressure line, that'll make your system more efficient as well. Alrighty, well, thanks for watching. Hope it helps. If you like it, leave a comment, like, subscribe. Take care. So this is after cleaning that up with the vacuum, and I haven't yet. I've cleaned the inside. I haven't yet washed it out yet, so that's next. I got to take a little screwdriver or my knife, try to straighten those up a little bit, and that'll just make it run more efficient. So if you do this, not only say if it's for my aspect for the tenant, it's going to save them some money by running more efficiently. It's also going to save you as a landlord money by having to your system's going to last longer in the long run, so then your operational costs will be much lower. So it's a good idea to do it. And so a lot of times too, when you have problems, say your air conditioner is not starting, usually the culprit is right there. These two, this is something ridiculous, but like I said, you don't want to touch those. But whoever stuck those in, they didn't rehook them back in properly. They just stuck them in the box. But even at that, still work. it's probably not a good idea, because it's just not. It should be mounted properly on the side. I don't know why whoever the person that did that, but yeah, you can buy these capacitors from places like Granger, order them online, and then, you know, pop them in there and replace it, and usually that'll correct your problem. You know, try that before you call an air conditioner guy. And a lot of times, you know, people, their air conditioner goes down in the middle of summer, they're so busy it might be weeks before they can get to you. So, and when they recharge your system, see those two right there, you got your low pressure line, high pressure line, that's where they're going to be recharging your system from, right there. So, you know, the systems aren't really that complicated, but if you do certain things as the homeowner, they'll make your systems last a lot longer. So if you've got an air conditioner running for 20 years or 30 years, then, you know, you've been saving a lot of money for that amount of time, versus if you're having to replace it after 5 or 10 years. That sucks, and your operational costs are up. So hope this helps. And you know, it's one of the ways as being a landlord you can save some money, and in the long run you're keeping your operational costs down, and you can save your tenants some money, so you don't have to raise the rent so much all the time. Okay, so here's after cleaning it out, and there, what a difference, huh? And then washed out all those fins in there. And what I use to do, I mean, you can use a garden hose to do that. Remember, you got no power going to it, so you don't have to worry about getting electrocuted. Except for you can get shot, because those capacitors do store up energy in them. So if you touch those, they will zap you. But so I could use this a garden hose from it, but I just fill this little bucket up with water, have a hose running over to that little power washer. It's not, you know, shoots that much power that it's going to damage the fins, but it's enough to really dry clean it. And this little thing's handy, you know, especially for me. I drive in the salted roads of back and forth from California to Nevada, so you know, I just can get that thing out, spray my car down, get that salt off of it. Real handy for a lot of stuff. Good little homeowner tool. You can see is my other tools I got here. This is actually one of my subscribers gave me this vacuum right here, a Rainbow, with some other attachments, and love it. So it's kind of like a little shop vac. Has a water reservoir on it, no filter, so it just uses the water to filter it. Works great, I love it. It's pretty compact, nice little unit. The other thing, so now I've cleaned this unit, but what I didn't show you, which probably should have showed you, is yesterday I cleaned the inside unit. So for the furnace, it has the furnace and then the air conditioner runs through it, so it's part of the same deal. I did clean that, clean the area like the plenum in it. I used that same deal right there. I sprayed the squirrel cage down to get all the lint off of it, because it was spinning around out of balance, and that'll wear out a lot of stuff. It'll wear out the motor, wear out the bearings in the motor. If that squirrel cage is out of balance, kind of like having a tire on your car out of balance, it's gonna wear out your car, or really a lot of stuff, just vibrating. So getting that clean will make it last much longer. And cleaning this, and for sure, it keeps your system cooler, because that's what it's got to take, that heat, and cool it through those fins down there, and in order for your air conditioner to work. So that's it on that. So here's one with capacitor that's properly installed. I think that other one, they added an extra boost capacitor. So sometimes as a quick fix, if the capacitor is not strong enough or getting old or weak, they'll add a boost capacitor, so it's like an extra little capacitor to it. But look how bad that is down in there. Okay, see all those cobwebs? The whole condenser is just coated. This one's way worse than the other one. And I'll show you the reason why. The first look in there. Look how bad that is. I mean, kids shoving pins down there, all that leaf debris. And look at the fins. Slinging stuff around like that pin or something damaged all those fins. So that's a lot of work having to straighten those fins. They have a little tool for doing that, but what a pain in the butt. But here's why: all this debris, not keeping the leaves and litter and stuff clean around there, so that stuff's just floating around, gets sucked up, shoved down inside of it. And you know, it's the tenants should be, you know, maintaining around their place, and it's costing them in the long run, because now it's, you know, they're paying more money in an energy bill to run their air conditioner in the summertime. So it's a behoove of them to keep this crap clean. If I have to pay for a gardener service to keep it clean, and that's going to be, you know, a higher price that they're going to pay on their rent. So yeah. And once again, I want to reiterate, disconnect. So that thing gonna vacuum it out too. But you pull that little thing out there, it disconnects the power to it, so you don't have any power going to it. But keep in mind that capacitor is still alive, so if you touch that inadvertently with your hand, it's gonna zap you. So keep clear of that. Now, if you had to replace one of these capacitors and you were going to do it as a homeowner, you want to be very careful and use a tool to ground that capacitor out. So ground all those things together so that basically it'll zap, and you know, it might scare you if it zaps, but just ground it out and make it safe for yourself. Then you can touch it all you want, because that stored energy that it has in it, it's just like a boost of energy all at once, and that's what it does, is it stores some energy in it, gives the motor a boost to run that motor inside that. It's basically like an air compressor pump that pumps up the Freon or R132, whatever it's using as a coolant, pumps it up. But in order for that motor to kick over, have that strength, it has to have that capacitor to do that. So like I said, sometimes if you just hear like a buzzing sound or something like that, and it's not kicking on, a lot of times that's your culprit right there, the capacitor. Okay, just to show you something, so there's certain areas, you know, see, I couldn't get the vacuum in there to clean a lot of that stuff off, but it was all kicked on there just like that, and it's probably all the way around the condenser like that, just a mat of that stuff. So the vacuum did a good job of cleaning a lot of it off. I just couldn't reach that in there. So what do I do with that? I'll use this thing here to blast it off. So the way the condenser works, this thing's actually sucking. So, you know, like if you ever walk by one of these things, all the hot air blows out of the top. Okay, so that's what it's doing. It creates like a vortex, sucks in through that. And that's why when it's sucking through that, and that thing's so clogged up, it's just beating all those leaves and whatever's stuck in it, like that pin, and bashing up all those condenser cooling fins that are inside. So watch, I'll take this thing here, okay. I can kind of blast a little bit off of that, but let's see, go on the inside. And you can see those fins are so dirty, it's got to wash a lot of dirt for that water. It's coming through. So since it goes that way, blast it back out, and then see, I can go back and vacuum a lot of that stuff off. So you can see what I'm doing here from the inside. I'm just cleaning it out that way, blasting that stuff off, cleaning the bottom. And like I said, this thing, it's got a good blast to it, but it's not overly powerful. So it's going to flatten those fins. I would not use like 1800 or 3000 watt pressure washer to do this, because you'll ruin the fins if you do. Same thing on your car. You have an air conditioner or condenser in your car. Same thing, do not use this on that. Anyways, you get the idea, so I won't bore you with it. So to give you an idea, even though I'm washing it through from the inside, it's not removing that layer of stuff. So I probably have to take off the whole shroud on it to properly clean this one, which that's what I'm gonna end up doing. So yeah, it's pretty bad. So you can see where somebody at what time used a pressure washer. See how those fins are all flattened right there? So that impedes the flow on it. So that's where you need that little tool to straighten all those fins up when you got that many that bad. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly why you don't want a high pressure washer, because it'll do this up. So here's another homeowner and landlord tip to check. See those nails right there sticking out? And right over there, more of them. So you want to check that and address that pretty quickly, because water can actually get into the wall from those nails like that coming out. And that could have happened from earthquakes shifting in the earth. Expansion, contraction can cause it. But a sudden, like a whole bunch of them like that, I don't think so much expansion and contraction from the heat. I'm thinking earthquake. Because not too far away, there was a 6.2 over here, and it could have caused that. I did see a little bit of cracking on the walls. Not much, but that's a nice thing with a wood structure, unlike a concrete block structure like you see in a lot of these countries. They just crumble from the earthquakes, like what just happened in Turkey. So the wood will flex a lot, but you want to look for things like that where the siding has moved around and the nails kind of popping out. And I notice on this other one over here too, there's some nails that popped out on this one as well. Not as bad as that one, but a little bit. So I just get up there with my ladder, pound them back in, and if they're bad, if they're like wobbly in there, then I'll just go ahead and replace them with screws. A little bit more secure with the screws than nails. Okay, so this has got it all cleaned up. See, the fins are all cleaned around the pump. These are, like I said, that's another job for another day. I need a tool to straighten those up, but it'll still work 1,000 times better than it was. I don't know if the tenants will notice any difference on the bill, because last year the energy was a lot cheaper. Now it's just gone beyond an arm and a leg for energy prices. So, but it will definitely run more efficient. So that will be a savings with the new higher energy cost, because man, they have just really gone up, super expensive. All right, so we got to button it all back up together, and then not forget, plug the power back in over there, and she'll be ready to go. So gonna have to let this tenant know, correction, we need to keep all that clean down here so that stuff doesn't build up in that air conditioner unit again. Like I said, it's behoove them to keep all that clean so they get more efficient air conditioning. Yeah, so see, this one is in the yard of one of the tenants. You see all this leaf litter around it. So that's the same thing as you can see down inside there. There we go. Anyways, there he goes. Full of leaf litter and stuff too. So I'm sure same problem with the others. You know, these things, if they're all dirty like that, it's just not going to run efficient. So looks like that one needs the insulation replaced on that low pressure line too. But yeah, so one of the things that, you know, I posed before in the past to the tenants, if they don't want to keep this stuff clean and maintained around, I can pay for a gardener service to do that. Back then it was $140. So between, like, say, these two duplexes, 140 bucks, another 140 bucks on the duplex on the other side. And that would be just added to their rent. So I'm sure it's more now. So it's probably 200 bucks now for, you know, their mow, blow, and go service. So, you know, if they want to the increase on their rent, no sweat off my case, I can do that. It's gonna have to be their decision. Start maintaining it around, keeping it clean, or I hire a gardener to do it. But yeah, I mean, like, this is all got to be kept clean around here. And see, this is like in a corner of the backyard, so it's not getting cleaned, and it to the wind probably kind of sweeps all the leaves back here in this corner, staying in here, and of course those get sucked into that condenser, and then that doesn't run that efficient to keep the house cool. So once again, full of leaves inside. And just give you an idea of how much leaves it's accumulated in there. A lot. So another cleanup job. And you know, see with these bikes here, it makes it even harder, all the stuff, to have a gardener clean it. So tenant's gonna have to move their stuff out of here if I'm gonna pay a gardener to come do it. And like I said, if I do that, then I'm gonna have to raise the rent.